person that's 31. I said, only want to get name. No, it's not. Not that easy. Talk to yourself. Talk to yourself. It's very difficult. So what do you think? Scenario one. Can we apply this? Yes. How can we do this?
I think um, can I make example of the my my team assignment, and I think I the the homework the assignment of the blocking, and it, maybe a function is make ready, and they will do the thing we call perform action.
I just said that method took the method, right? You should have, so consider that if that is a procedure. So this procedure is a method packed with other method, right? So you cannot do this by this method alone. You go through it, then still need other method, right? And come back. So yeah, that would be, we need to call other method. There will be what? If only use one method, right? Let's not talk to yourself. We talk to others for help. I talk to myself. When I talk, I use a method. I talk to myself for help because I cannot do it by using this, right? But with other, there will be LD1. Okay, and Charles, 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 LD2, explain that. Yeah, by using this. S1, this one, which you can see the LD2.
B，
Yeah, and tell me, how do you know that you use LD2?
就是它可以去使用自己父类别的方法。
Which one? Tell me that.
哪一行？物件。哪一行？叫父类别的方法，物件。
Okay, apply LD2, right? By using the diagram to explain that.
就是右边那个 PO1 的 date，然后使用了父类别的那个 date 物件。
What is date? This is another method, right? Is it matter? Is this a matter?
它是一个物件。
Okay, and so there's inheritance coupling, right? And the other interaction coupling. So we said that's inheritance coupling and interaction coupling.
听得懂。
Which one? Jeffrey? Yeah, Jeffrey. Which one you can see that?
所以问题是 integration coupling 还是 inheritance coupling 是吧？
Charles just said that the inheritance, right? But we still need the interaction coupling. Okay, which one? You can see that interaction coupling. Which one?
Which one?
Yeah,
Integration coupling.
interaction. Yeah, which one? An example. Yeah, tell us. Okay, see.
Custom
Which one? Finish this part. It's LD2, right? LD2. Microphone. No. LD2.
Mapping LOD2 we use on our parent objects.
Which one?
Which one?
Yeah. Which one?
Diagram B.
Yeah. Then you said object parents. Tell us which one you see. That. You cannot find it. Can you find it? It's in front of you. You know, it said, call me, you know. Can you hear that? It said, call me, call me, call me, call me, call me, call me. Yushan,
Like the diagram B, like the purchase order, it have attributes of the customer.
customer.
Yes.
Mhm.
So according to the second,
Mm-hmm.
it can do the thing. It can call the method. Call the customer method.
Okay. So this is inheritance coupling or interaction coupling. Call customer to do the thing, right? Or get a thing. So it is interaction coupling or inheritance coupling. Call customer to do the thing.
Sorry, I can understand the English.
You cannot understand English, but your answer is English.
Yes, sorry. I can understand.
Yeah, you
what
said
you mean.
customer, right?
Yes, customer.
So purchase order, you said purchase order,
Yes.
and the customer,
Yes.
right? Ask customer to get something, right?
Yes.
So this kind of relationship is interaction coupling. It's an interaction coupling or inheritance coupling.
Interpretation.
What?
Can you say that again?
Interaction
In-
or inheritance coupling.
Interaction.
In what? In what?
In interaction.
Interaction coupling.
Interaction. Yes.
Okay, and which one is the inheritance coupling? LD2, right? LD2. Which one is in inheritance coupling?
Let me look at it. The four.
The what?
Four.
Are you awake? Rain. Rain, can you answer this? Can you answer this? So LD2, LD2 has two kinds of coupling. One is inheritance coupling.
Is a date?
Dates as inheritance coupling.
Yes.
Good, right. So dates from parents as inheritance coupling. The other is a customer as interaction coupling. So you can see that LD2 has two coupling. Right. So interaction coupling. So here state, right? State. That means that we should have states, right? And customer, that's. And with dates, right? Dates, we don't need to, specify that because automatically it's going to take it from a parent, right? So this inheritance coupling. So look at it. So there are types of interaction coupling, right? So it could be from, it says good, no direct coupling. It doesn't mean that you don't have any coupling, right? Usually the coupling is not a system. Alright. So they do not call directory, no. We gotta say that. So not direct coupling, it's not a system. Data coupling, if A requests, that we said that A requests something that we request 2 parameters. If we need two kinds of data, all right. Here, for example, we need only name and address from patient. All right, we specify that name and patient, right, from P, right. It is data coupling. I need this 2, and I get this 2, right. Even we get this, there's a composite object is the patient, but composite patient we ask only these 2 data, and we get these 2 data. That's the data coupling. All right. If we need these 2 data, and we ask patient the whole, and we only need 2, that's stamp coupling. All right. It means that the supplier, provider can give you a lot of things, but you only need these 2. So if that is so, it's going to change stamp as data, right? Stamp coupling as data coupling. The data, I need just 2, and ask 2, and take 2, right? So this data coupling. If your target has a lot, and you ask, give me the whole, but actually, you only need 2. Stamp coupling. Waste. What a waste. Control. So we have variable, right? So variable and variable with, you can say there's a different value. The value go to different paths. There's a control coupling, right? So that control coupling could be good or bad, right? If you cannot expect the value go to somewhere, right? You change that, the will affect. And also you reveal. So control coupling could be good or bad, or is it global? But it's a global. Global, everyone can access that. But we know that if there's a global variable, then it is easy to be changed, right? So what is that? Whenever it changed, they will affect the dependence, all right? Change the value will affect. So it's going to set the value, nobody can change that. Otherwise, data inconsistency, right, may happen. Or the value, some processing, and more than one thread ask, they get different value. So there is multi-threads problem, data inconsistency, right? So we have this kind of, coupling, raise problem. Or content, right? Content coupling manipulates the other, all right? So for say that I create, we have an object A, and this object A only to do something, but object A cannot do it. So object A create the thing, right? Create the thing to do it, and even set the value of it, right? Or set the process of it. So manipulate that, manipulate other process, all right? So, well, that is bad, because that means that you manipulate others. You should let the one to do the thing, not you, all right? It's a content coupling. So your teamwork, if you give the example, the content coupling, then I should say that, well, you know how to explain content coupling, but you tell me that your design is not good, all right? because we wanted to prevent this from happening. So try to avoid content coupling. So wait. Let me see that. Let's see. Oh, okay. So here, well, I said a common coupling like a global, global data structure. So module A or adds stats. Module B also adds stats, right? Global data structure. But there raise problem because not just these two modules, the more it provides to others. So module refer to the same structure, right? It's a common coupling, right? It's a global data structure. Whenever it change, they will affect module A and B. It depends on it, relies on it, right? So we know that, this is common coupling. But the downside, right? You think about the downside about whenever it change, you need to think about probably 100 bad depends on it, all right? Here is a 2, right? So it notifying us the values already changed. Or whenever the global value change, you gotta set it, that updates, the other will be updated. Otherwise, come data inconsistency. Or, there's a model threads get a different data. When it is ongoing change, right? Get different data. External, right? It's similar to that external. But think about that external coupling. So module A may depends on more than one, right? More than one. Good one is print server, and the other no. So external coupling, because we are not going to do all the stuff by ourselves, so we rely on others. External coupling is similar to that external. So you're going to see that either you see it's only common coupling, or somebody will use some device, right, to explain external coupling. So control coupling, right? Control, that the control variable, it's go to, with different value, and they go to different threads, different paths. So control coupling, stem coupling. Stem coupling use part of that data, use all of that, right? So we should avoid content manipulates others, right? And try to achieve, we use everything, right? Data coupling. Oops, see that. I think the slides are different from mine. So we can see 2 parts. Part above is a tight coupling, loose coupling below, right? Then we know that tight coupling is bad, right? And loose coupling is better, right? So tell me that why the type coupling is bad. So here we want to just some value. Tell me the comparison. From these two, I put it all together instead of two different slides. Tell me that why the ones above is better than the below. Shen, can you understand that? Can you explain the one above? You know English.
The top one is the sum values calculate is in the method itself, and the below one is to use the calculator method to calculate it. So the bottom one will not tight enough than the up one.
No. No. Not because of that. So I wanted to explain that. Not because, no. It says the top one, the bottom one. The top one because top one calculates in itself. No, that is not the reason. It's that. Penny?
Maybe the top one use many get function to get a value, but the bottom one is just it don't know it don't get the value, so it just use the method to calculate and return the result. But the top one is it gave many valued and calculate by itself and set it then return.
Penny, what is the type of couplings of the above?
What?
The top one, what is the type of coupling? What's the type of coupling?
In results that
No, what's the type of coupling? My question. What's the type of coupling?
Data, maybe data.
No. Richard, what's the type of coupling?
It is a content coupling
Why? What's the content coupling?
because it could modify.
Modify?
No,
Modify?
I changed my answer. I think it is common coupling because it get the data from C. So to me, that is the upper one is common coupling, and the downside one, to me it is external coupling. That's what I think.
Mental?
I think it's stem coupling
Stem coupling? What
because
is a stem coupling?
because in parameter is calculator class
Mm-hmm.
and in user C method.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's stem coupling.
Kind of coupling. You see that? this one and this one, right? The difference. Hank, regarding LOD, which type? So LOD, which one? 1, 2, 3, 4. Three, yes. There's three. And why this one is worse than? Yeah. This is already three, right? And here, what do we say that is bad? Yeah, it's RTA. Tim said it's content coupling. Yes, it is content coupling. Why? Why is it content coupling? Do you understand that? Not because we modify. No, we don't see the modification. No. Content coupling. Why? Why is the content coupling? Even though that's Hank, what can you see? Content coupling, but no modification. Yeah, it's the content coupling. But here you can see that if we wanted to calculate, right, here result, wanted to get result. These results, sum and update results, they were conducted by calculator, right? We ask calculator to give us this. So all the processing will be defined in the calculator. That's the job of calculator. Not you, right? This one define the process, define the how. It's not, right? So manipulates the processing, says, oh, we wanted to get the results. So you wanted to get the result, you should guess first name or first value, first number and the second number. Past that, we define it here. No, that's not correct. Right? It's not going to do that, for the calculator. So yeah, it's a content. But we don't modify that. But you can modify that because you set a procedure, right? You probably you just that. But that's the business of calculator, not this. All right, not a requester. So you got to know that. This one. Explain it. Explain the code. We can explain it. What's the problem with this kind of design? So we can explain the code. Gus, can you explain this? Okay, and can you suggest one to answer? Yeah, you think probably the one can answer. Someone that's a good programming skill that can answer. Can you suggest one that can answer? who can answer that? Do you have a friend? Yeah. And who do you think can answer this? You know that. Richard, can you answer this? Do you have a friend? Yeah, and can you suggest one that you think the one can answer? No one? Is that good programming skill? Who? Yeah, in your class. Who? Who? Oh, one. It's only one. Shen? You said Shen. But what? Oh, Shen. Oh, you do? All right. So you are the one. Sick? Are you sick? Why? Is it mental sick or physical? Physical. Physical would not affect your mental, so answer this. Right. So physical. Can you explain the code? Yeah. Richard says you can. Right. Yeah, Richard suggests that. You will not disappoint, right? Wait, no. Okay, explain this. Or you suggest someone that you think they're good programming skill. You do? You volunteer, right? You think you're good, right?
Maybe I can try this.
Alright.
This code actually is calculated by line, so they are losing couple.
So how many classes in
many?
this example?
2 class.
Only two?
Wait,
Only two, right? You say you have a good programming skill, but not a good eyesight. And nearsighted. Yeah.
two class. One
Two,
class
two,
is
only
line.
two. Only two.
Yes, I think
Okay.
Only
And
two.
tell me the two.
line and arch.
Line and arch.
Yeah.
Only these two.
Yes. Two. No. It's
No.
Wait. Oh, and three.
A three. Okay.
Another one is point.
Okay. And tell me
line,
their
arch,
relationship.
point.
Right.
You have 2 points. One is end point. One is start point, and you use these 2 points to.
We don't say that's a 2 points. We have only 1 point. Right. The point is a class. Right.
Yes, and
Yeah.
It have 2 objects.
Object.
One is start, and another one is end.
That's not two object.
It's not 2 objects.
Is this a two object?
I think it's 2 objects.
Two object. Okay. Start and end. Is it start and end?
Yes, and we use point to calculate the line. And
You think that star is an object is a very tiny one, or okay, star is a dot, right?
yes,
Point is a dot, right?
yes,
Okay, there's a kind of point.
yes,
All right. So we have 3 classes,
yes.
and then what does the example tell us?
Arch is calculated by line because
Calculates by
be-
line.
because it loses couple.
Mm-hmm.
So it use line to calculate the
Arch.
the answer.
So here, arch.
Yes.
What does the arch wanted to calculate? It says calculate. Calculate what? What is the arch?
Calculate the start point and
Calculate the dot points.
the end points.
What is the method of the arch?
Wait.
What's the method? You wanted to do something, right? So arch wanted to do something. And why do you think that it is a bad design?
can.
Oh,
Can
okay.
do this.
All right. Yes, it does. Good. Darling.
I think，edge 它就是在计算偏斜，然后它 lie 就是它本身它就是会计算两点之间的距离这样。
It's a 平行。
嗯。
平行。
那个
What do you mean 平行？
slater 只是在计
Slater？
算它的偏斜。
啊。
它就是它放了一个新的 y 轴进去。
Okay，平行。
哎，就是if 它原本是这样子，
Okay。
那它x 点不变，它设置了一个新的 y 点，然后去计算它这样子，所以是偏斜。
哦，I thought it's 平行，not 平行。
No， 偏斜。
Oh, all right. Okay. Sorry for that. So that's the method of slant, right? Slant, right? And what about the Arch wanted to calculate slants? And how to do that? So here's the point. I said the point is another point. So that is the consideration that make this design bad. So how to improve it? Anyone can tell me how to improve it? And what is bad? All right. So, and this one will be your course assignments. All right. To describe what is bad. All right. How to improve it. Right. It's a course assignments. So we know that. What about lines? And arch? All right. Arch wanted to do something. Then here, it tells us how to do the slants. I was thinking, no, it's not good. How can we make it better? Improve it. All right. So this is the situation. And here, it says we kept a program. Part of the programs handle lookup for customer, right? When customer not found, the components that customer by directory modifies the contents of the data structure containing customer data, because it's bad, all right? If you need to modify that, it should be the responsibility of customer, not the others, right? Not the client. So of course, we cannot modify the contents or just give a command to do it. That's a content coupling, all right? This is not good. And I also describe as global, right? Pros and cons of global variables already described as. So usually, if it's a common coupling, it's easy to get data from that. But also, it could be a poor design, right? It could be a poor design. Because the data, whenever it changes, they will affect the dependence. Or it's ongoing forming, forming the data, but not ready yet. And you open to access that. Then data will be inconsistent, right? So it could be bad, it could be good. You got to know that, right? About the pros and cons, and it's difficult to reuse. If a lot of ads, right? Hard to reuse. We says for the common variable, what makes the common variable hard to reuse? Anyone can answer this? Think about this. Common coupling. How can we say that's, difficult to reuse? Why? Why is it difficult to reuse? Why? Joseph? Do you understand the answer? What makes it difficult to reuse? Do you understand that? Yeah. Common coupling. Do you understand? How to answer this? You know.
I think we need to consider the other object you use the global variable. Yeah.
Okay.
So
All right.
yeah. So if we have many objects and
Yeah.
many objects use the global variable, so we
Yeah.
need to consider.
All of them, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So make it hard to reuse,
Yeah, yeah,
right? Yeah. Yes, that's pretty good, right? So this situation is it's hard to reuse that, right? When you reuse it, you need to consider all of them, right? Yeah, that's pretty good. So difficult to reuse component. Yeah, since that's good, I'll give you another question, right? Give you another question about if we know that we have lots of communication, right? There's a lot of coupling. So here we can see, well, this one, go variable, right? A lot of component needs it, right? Is this a fencing or fence out? Fencing or fence out? It's a fencing or fence out. Everybody needs it. So it's fencing or fence out. It's a fencing, right? So it's a fencing. So fencing, everyone needs it. It's hard to reuse. Okay, yeah, it's good. And so it's too many dependencies, right? Everyone relies on it. So how to reuse? Whenever wanted to reuse, you need to consider everything. And we also know that we have, or we have external as a common coupling or external coupling, right? Or one is external coupling or common coupling, right? So a lot of that, all right? And here we have other, probably not like this, but lots of that. And they have usually, they have lots of communication. Probably that. Probably that. And probably this one is most famous. No, famous one. Everyone relies on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1. Okay. Actually, it's a good design. We have hundreds of beds. It's a good design. Yes or no? It's very easy. You choose one. Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes. It's good. Yes or no? No. Why? Why? Why is it not a good design? Why? A lot of coupling. What is it? So here, it's a lot of coupling, right? So this is not a good design. It's a tight coupling. Tight coupling with others. It's too many coupling, right? How to solve it? So here, a lot of communication, a lot of coupling. It's not so good, right? how to solve it. How to solve this situation? Reduce. How to reduce it? Here it's probably only C5, but in reality, we can more than that. Right, I wanted to reduce number of coupling. How to reduce that? Oh, what do you think about that? You guys, do you understand that? How to reduce that? Do you understand that? How to reduce that? Because this is too many. Too many. Raise your hand. How to reduce that? How to reduce this? When you said that, this is not a good design, and how to make it better? If the problem is too many communication, then so we should reduce the communication line. Okay. How reduce that?
Your question is how to reduce it?
Yeah, if the problem is too many.
Use inherit, right?
Use what?
Inherit.
Inheritance. Use inheritance. Okay, tell me that. How to use inheritance? Inheritance. Inheritance. Is this make it become parent and children?
Yes. Right?
So use inheritance. But we try to avoid inheritance. Instead use inheritance. Kara?
I think maybe we have created a new class and let the class have the other class have relation, and we just use the new class can to do a lot of thing of another class.
Okay, and where will you put the one you said we create another class?
Yes, create a new class and
new
let
class.
let the class have a relation of and the other classes.
How to draw it? So you wanted to create other classes, right? How many would you want to create? And where do you want to put that, and like what? So is there something, right, that's, and what about a picture would be? And say it again, it says we create a class, and this class will, what's the responsibility of this class?
Yes.
Yes. What? Not yes. What's the responsibility of this class?
Controller.
Controller, like a controller.
Yes.
Okay, like a controller. So can we put the controller like this? This is a controller.
Yes.
And then?
Try to connect another classes.
Another, which one? It means another. Okay, let me put that. That will make it easier. If we say that's A, B, C. So What?
是整理
So it's a controller, right? Connect.
And I think it's A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, O, all connect controller.
Is it this?
Yes, all classes.
Yes?
Yes.
What's good for this? What do you think that is a good design?
So if some class, if a class want to use another class, for example, the A want to use F, it just 透过怎么讲
Just S controller.
然后我只要透过 controller 就可以使用到0。
Okay.
假如说 F 吧。
All right. It's a kind. Yeah, it's a good thinking. All right. So probably not just one controller, right? Probably not. Probably more than one. But this thinking is correct. From many to many is a many to one, all right? And one to many. Okay. So we call this usually as a single entry, right? This one single entry. So if A needs B and D and F, it's just S controller. Probably they have a processing order controller, will fetch the results to A. So we call this controller FOSOR. So this is FOSOR, right? So we call this like a FOSOR. FOSOR, right? So we call this FOSOR. FOSOR, like a DOM. We get the inputs. Yeah, it's a FOSOR. Okay, that's it for today, and do your assignments.